Hello and welcome to our first ever hand review. We're going to be reviewing a 9-person sit and go on Club WPT. I needed chips to get into a tournament today that I promptly got kicked out of in 6 hands. It took me an hour to get the chips needed to get knocked out in 6 hands. But, sit and goes are a little bit easier than 2,100 person tournaments. That's my little Buddha statue sitting next to me. My name is Innurendo. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so when this tournament begins, I'm going to be sitting in a position known as... What is it known as? Oh, under the gun. I'm going to be under the gun, meaning that I am to the, I believe it is the left of the big blind. When you're in that position, you want to shorten the amount of cards that you are willing to play. It's called your range. You want your range to be microscopic. Why? Because at a table with 9 people, there are 8 more people left to act after you. So unless you want to get into a hand with 8 other people and you think that it's going to be good enough to beat those 8 people, or if you think that you have superb post-flop equity and post-flop skills, which I don't, so I don't know why you would if you're watching a poker instruction video, especially one from me, then you want your range to be pretty small. Your range is the cards that you start with, or your probable starting cards in the case of other players. You want to know what their range is. You want to know what kind of cards they'll be playing from what position. Now, the later in position you are, the wider your range can be. For instance, you see that fish guy that says sitting out? He has a little button beside him. It's called the button, and he's last to do anything. So his range can be pretty large. He can even use it to steal later on, but it won't be happening in this tournament. We'll talk about steals later on when we're in a tournament with actual antes, if I ever make it far enough to do that, which lately I've recorded 4 or 5 of these, and I have yet to get one the whole way through with the audio correct. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that here I am in the big blind with Queen 8 suited. It looks pretty, right? Sure it does. But I got news for you. It sucks. I hope I fold. Come on. Fold the cards there, fella. What you doing? You paying attention? Hey. Oh, I wasn't paying attention and I had to sit this hand out. I don't know what I was doing there. Anyway, that wouldn't have been a good hand to play anyway, especially for a raise. The thing with the people who are in the blinds, a common thought is that if you're in the small blind or the big blind, you already have money in. So if it's not that big of a raise, you might as well call. Well, why? You're wasting money. When this thing starts really getting going and the blinds start really, really counting, you're going to need every scrap of freaking chips that you can get. Like if you have 8 chip left, you're still in the tournament. We'll find that out later, because actually I think at one point in this tournament somebody has 2 chips left. So they're still in the tournament. And in a tournament like this, when you're trying to finish in the top 3, you just want to hang on, man. Actually, I needed a top 2 finish to get this done. So if I was the only person left in the hand and that guy was sitting out, I would have called. But if he wasn't sitting out, I would have folded. And I know what you're thinking. 5 chips? You have 1,485 chips. You're going to fold 5? Hey, at least Jack 7 something, right? Well, no. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting my chips. At least not ideally. You'll find later on in a lot of these tournaments that I play that I just throw them around like they're free gifts for everybody. I preach, but I do not practice. Now this position that I'm about to be in is the best position that you can be at the table, and look at that. If I remember right, this is one of the few times that things go right for me. Not only do I have kings, but it is extremely difficult to get anybody in with you when you have a hand like kings or aces. What you want to do with things like kings or aces is win the smaller pots, or win the showdown pots. You don't want to be facing 3 or 4 people in a situation like this. This is my favorite bet in the world early on. 210. What's it mean? It means nothing. You can size your bets however you want early in the tournament. There are standard ways to do it, and then there's John Weaver ways to do it. So, okay, I got a guy to call me, 420, John 420, he smokes a lot of pot. And he also has a Buddha statue, and his name's John, so me and him might be buddies in another world. But right now, I want every chip I can get from the guy, so I'm betting pot-sized. I mean business, motherfucker! And he thinks he does too, so I'm just going to go all in and not waste any time. And I don't know what he was doing. Welcome to Club WPT, everybody. And the king saves my butt, because I'm telling you right now, the most common thing that you're going to see on this site when I show you the videos from playing are people with things like Ace-6, King-7, 10-7, where they beat a pocket pair on the Turner River. It's online poker. The variance is ramped up to 11. What is variance? Variance is the thing that keeps the good players from winning all of the time. If all it took were skill, then everyone would practice more. But some people believe, and it works for them, that they don't need to know anything about the game at all, and they can still win. And you know what? If they're playing against somebody who knows a lot about the game, it actually works. It does. Oh, by the way, the position that I'm in right now, that is called the cutoff. That's it. So it goes cutoff, button, small blind, big blind, and under the gun. And after that, it's all middle position. From cutoff and the button, there's a lot of room to really get creative with your hands, under the condition that the pot's not too big, there's not too many players in there. You really want to be careful with how you go about manipulating your stack. So I got ace jack from middle position. So I got two callers. I don't like 30, even though that's the standard bet is 3 times the big blind. But this early in the tournament, why would you do that? I don't get it. People do it though, and all it does is hyperinflate the pot, get 7 people in there, and then something like ace jack, you hit the top pair, but then somebody's got 10-6 or something. So just get them out of the way. Take the chips that you can get. Never, ever, 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 ever. Go ahead, say it. Ever. Give up. Never give up. No, never ever complain that you get chips. No matter how small the pot is. Now, there are times that maybe you could have played the hand better and gotten more chips, but you shouldn't complain. You really shouldn't complain if you're getting chips. The object is to get all of the chips. It might take a while. In the case of this, it takes an hour. So, just kind of take what you can get. I'm hoping somewhere in here I make a big mistake, because that'll be fun. I don't really remember. I know I finished second in this tournament, too. I believe Dino wins the whole thing. I don't want to spoil anything, but I really am not feeling like putting you through a whole bunch. Look at this. 3-4 versus whatever the hell that other guy had. Hands like this show up so often on this site. Let's talk about Club WPT for a second, while apparently I don't pay attention. Oh, there I am. Derp. Club WPT is a subscription site, meaning that it costs you $25 a month to play on here. You can win real money, and I have won real money on here. However, it comes in the form of a check, sometimes a $5 check, because you don't win all that often when you're playing against 2,100 people. And the other problem is that in a real tournament, if you are playing against 2,100 people and you finish, I don't know, 20th, you cash. 20th out of 2,100 people sounds pretty good, doesn't it? That's in the top, what, 1%? Or 10%? No, that's 1. The top 1%. You don't get anything for it. They pay out the top 3. On the big tournaments on the weekends, they'll sometimes pay out like 10, maybe 20. So you sit here and you play these games for hours. This one right here is a 9-person tournament, and it took an hour to finish. The levels, the blind levels, they take forever to go up. It's a grind and a half. You want to know what a grind is? Try playing and winning actual money on a subscription-based poker site. I know in a real-life tournament with 2,100 people, like the World Series of Poker, you're there for a week. So what am I complaining about? What I'm complaining about is that you get no reward for the work that you do on here. You do get tournament points, and you can use them to buy into stuff later. And if you don't get them, then you got to go through this shenanigans where you got to beat 8 other people in an hour to get just enough chips to buy into a weekend tournament. And yet, every weekend, there's 2,000 people in these 2,000 tournament point tournaments, which blows my mind because you start every day with 500 tournament points. So, how do you get 2,000 people with 2,000 tournament points? That's 40,000 points, says the guy who can't add. 2,000 times 2,000. How many points is that? Doing the math on a calculator while I'm talking to you on a video. Let's see, 2,000 times 2,000 is, oh God, 4 million chips. 4 million chips. Where are they even coming from? How are there 4 million chips even to play? I don't know. All I know is this. When online poker started, I was too young to play. When I finally hit the age where I was allowed to play, I played on Ultimate Bet. I won an $800 tournament. I'm like, this is great. I am going to learn this game, and I'm going to make some money off it. And at the time, people were making money off it. Until some jerks decided to illegally take money out of it, and the whole thing shut down within like less than a year of when I started playing. I remember going over to people's houses and they like would tag team cash games and just make money all night long. I never got the chance to do that. By the time that I started getting good at online poker, this was my only option. And I can and do consistently finish in the top 5, 10, sometimes 1% of these tournaments. But to get actually paid, you got to finish way up there. Way up there. So really what I'm doing with this, for the sake of this YouTube show, is just using it as a basis of visual evidence of how to play the game. Would I recommend this to anybody? No way. I know it's only $25 a month, but let's add that up over the course of a year. $25 a month, $300 a year. It's $300 a year to play on here. Do you know how much I've won total? And I've been on here a long time. I've won like, I don't know, $400 maybe? And I played it for a long time. And I've won quite a few amount of tournaments. And I'll show you one of these days on one of the new videos that I do. The checks that I have. The check stubs. It's just... it hurts my head, you know? It hurts my head to think about. And online poker is coming back. So maybe all of this practice that I have and maybe these videos can help you. Because the one thing that I've learned from playing on sites like this is there are a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing. No idea what they're doing. And if you get enough of them in a 2,100 person tournament and you are patient and you know what you're doing, there's money to be made there. There's no money to be made here. There is money to be made on online poker. You just have to know the game better than 90% of the people you play, which in reality isn't that hard. You get a bunch of rich people, they go, oh yeah, I'm just going to jump on there because I'm rich. I can just throw money around in a cash game. Of course, you're going to run into variance. You're going to sit down and play a great game one day, maybe a cash game, and somebody's going to beat you with garbage, and you're going to say, I've done everything I can, why can't I win? Well, variance. Variance is killer. But if there weren't bad players in poker who sometimes won, if there weren't bad players, there wouldn't be money to be made. It would be best card wins every single time. Bluffing, not important. Stealing, not important. Outthinking somebody, out-using your equity, not important. So it's a good thing that there are bad players. And it'll be even better when the time comes when online poker comes back. And it is coming back. It's slowly going to come back. Hopefully they'll do a better job of watching people on the inside this time. Anyway, Do you really want to see what happens at the end of this? So at the 7-minute mark, all I'm trying to do at this point is beat the guy who's sitting out. That's literally all I'm trying to do. So I see this, and I've got 2 pair, and I don't know what I'm thinking here. Am I thinking I'm going to call this? You think I'm going to call it, Garrett? I don't remember. I did! I don't know why. I wouldn't, looking back at it. Now I really wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch this. I just want to finish ahead of the guy with 95 chips. You think I'm going to call?
Nope.
Me too. Don't call it. It's a trap. Don't do it. You got so much to live for. Yeah, there you go. Street too late, but you did it. By the way, there's things called streets. When the first 3 cards come out, that's the first street. Then when the turn comes out, that's the second street. And when the river comes out, that's the third street. Okay, I only called this guy because I have a chance to knock him out. I would never play 4-2, ever, 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 ever. But it worked out for me, so I'm going to knock him out. Yeehaw!
Oh, there's a queen.
There's a queen. No, none of that matters. See, I'm just checking. There it is, 750 points. That's all I need to go lose. 6 hands into a 20. He's gone, yeah! Now, we could just sit here and watch how in the next 6 minutes I just kind of screw around while my kid was yelling at me from the other room to fix the Super Nintendo. Remember that?
Yeah.
Fix the Super Nintendo, Dad! I couldn't because my battery was dying. I think we even skipped over that part. So, John, skip to 2 minutes. So, I skipped to almost the end, and basically all I'm doing at the end of this tournament, I guess except for right here, is just trying to get out of it. I don't care if I win the tournament at this point. I got what I wanted. I don't need to win it. Personal pride, sure, but I don't care. All I want to do is just get done. So it's either the next hand or the hand after that where I just start applying the pressure. At one point I did double up through him. We skipped that. But any ace at this point I'm going to push down. And he's not going to take it. And you know what? If I can keep doing this until I have more chips than him, then I can just lean on him. But I'm not going to do that. It's going to end pretty soon here. I think this hand ends. Probably. Ooh. See, he called with any ace. It's heads up. I mean, that's what you do. So I got a jack. I got a flush draw. Still got a flush draw. Excuse me. Still got a flush draw. And... oh boy, a jack! I lost! But it doesn't matter because, ladies and gentlemen, I got my 750 points. That'll be all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned a tiny little bit. Have a good night, everybody. Till next time.